Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow. Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 53 degrees now at Pittsburgh International at 11 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Well, President Trump wants to reschedule the White House Correspondents' Dinner after a gunman opened fire just outside of the ballroom where he joined cabinet members, members of Congress, other officials, and journalists for the event last night. CBS News Chief White House Correspondent Nancy Cortez was inside the ballroom, describes what happened last night.
He wanted to come back out and deliver his speech until the Secret Service told him he could not. And I think it's fair to say, based on the press conference he gave, he's defiant. He is calling for this dinner to be rescheduled within the next 30 days. He said that he fought like hell to stay. I don't like to let these sick people change the fabric of our lives. And on a lighter note, he said, I had a very inappropriate speech planned. This dinner is supposed to involve some roasting between the president and the press.
Suspect's been identified as 31-year-old Cole Allen of Torrance, California. That's just north of Los Angeles. Stay with News Radio KDK for more on this developing story out of Washington, D.C. In other news, a man is dead after an overnight shooting in Duquesne. Allegheny County police say the man was found dead with a gunshot wound to the head at a home in the 100 block of South 6th Street. He had a gunshot wound, as mentioned, to the head, and a woman was detained at the scene. Charges are pending. Police have filed charges against a Monaca man in the deadly hit-and-run incident that killed a 9-year-old boy in Beaver County. 53-year-old Thomas Earl Cole is charged with homicide by vehicle while driving under the influence. Police say Cole struck the 9-year-old boy in the 300 block of Pennsylvania Avenue in Rochester Friday evening. He has a preliminary hearing scheduled for May 7th. The boy who died has not been publicly identified. KDK Radio News Time 11:02. Time to visit RomeMonuments.com. Life is a journey to remember. Memorialize that journey. RomeMonuments.com. We've got the AccuWeather forecast coming up next.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 20% and get financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds give way to sunshine today with a high of 65, and it stays clear through tonight with a low of 44, leading to a rather nice day tomorrow. It's a warmer start to the new week with some afternoon clouds and a high of 74, but Tuesday brings more clouds with showers and a thunderstorm into the early afternoon. Any storm may be gusty, high 71. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
Well, it's time. Batter up. He's our leadoff batter, Joe Giordano. Always good to have him in center square. This, of course, Metropolitan Window video screen. Click on kdkradio.com and KDK Watch. And, of course, Diolis Law, Milk and Honey Sports Entertainment. Greg Diolis is here as always. So let's begin by simply saying, how about those Buccos? You start. Listen, I know they may have stubbed their toe, but they're not down for the count. They just keep coming back. Connor Griffin, and the guy in the middle square right now said it, and you may not even remember, Coach. You said he could get hot at any time. Now, I know he's only batting .214, but what Connor Griffin has done to celebrate the 20th birthday, and then he did it again yesterday, a couple of multiple hits, man, that's a good thing to see.
Yeah, .214, but he's raised his average over 20 points in the last 4 or 5 days, and has had a real nice game or a series starting out in Milwaukee there. The only thing, Joe, and I'm always a glass half full guy, but I'm going to be a little bit critical. They've turned this kid into a Punch and Judy guy. They're making him go the other way with everything. He's hitting little flares and everything. He's not hitting those screamers, those 112 exit velo balls that we were hoping to see from him. I hope they haven't changed him so much to take all of his power away from him.
Well, I think the one thing that we talked about in the preseason is that mentality of the Pirates producing runs at the bottom of the order. And I think right now he's in a good spot. I know that he had that conversation with Ozuna a little bit earlier and just said, hit the pitch where it wants to go. And I mentioned it last week, and I'm sure it's probably still the case, that the Pirates are leading the Major League Baseball in opposite field hits. Yeah. And I think that's a good thing. Maybe just build his confidence and to where he has a really good feel for the zone. He's still 20 years old now, but, he's still young. He's still getting it. And building that average up, it's going to get him to a spot where he feels comfortable with 2 strikes and going the opposite way. Maybe that'll open up some of that pop and power early in the count. But productive-wise, I love the fact that the Pirates are producing runs at the lower end of that lineup.
Yeah, it's also good, Joe. Just one more thing to touch on Connor is that he's done a great job in when he's had struggles at the plate. He doesn't carry that over to the field and let it affect him defensively. He's been really solid. Everything he's done on defense at shortstop, and one of the things, I guess you feel really good if you're the Pirates organization saying we got a guy we plugged in. I hope they stop sitting him. I hope he can go for the Cal Ripken record of longevity, but they keep sitting him every 4 or 5 days.
Well, I think that, again, it's just that he's used to it. And obviously in the minor leagues, it's a very similar schedule where you're playing pretty much every day. But in the big leagues, there's another level of pressure and expectation. And I think he's been handling it great. And I just look at it from a development perspective. He's just going to get better and better and better. And from my perspective, giving him a blow every once in a while, just to kind of take it in and giving him some time to reset is a good thing.
Hey, Rob, I don't think we give Joe enough credit or enough puff up his chest a little bit about the impact he had on Isaac Mattson. Mattson has done such a nice job in that middle relief area for the Bucks, and he's a guy that obviously you had him from the beginning, Joe, and have built him up. What a character he has become, and just one solid dude.
He's fantastic. I mean, I think the world of Isaac and his family and just great people. There's a great story behind it. I may have mentioned it before, but I went to see him play a game when he pitched for Harbor Creek High School up at Old Ainsworth Field in my hometown of Erie. And Isaac was pretty much all set to go play basketball and baseball at Gannon. And I saw his arm, not necessarily when he was pitching, but when he made a relay throw from the outfield. And I said, man, that works. And I loved his size and his focus. And we had him visit the next day. And the rest is history. And Isaac has been, he's very grounded, very, very strong in his faith. And it's so admirable about what he does on and off the field. He just goes out. He's got that blue collar mentality. I'm coming at you. Here it is. I'm going to give you my best every day. And that's exactly what he did for us at Pitt.
Joe, what is it that makes a guy like him effective? He doesn't throw the 100-mile-an-hour fastball, so he's not blowing it completely by you. Is it location? Is it movement? But why is his fastball and why is he as a pitcher able to do what he does when he doesn't have the back in the old days what he throws, he's a mid-90s guy. That would be unstoppable back in our day, but now that's kind of like average major league speed. Why is his stuff so good?
Well, I think, number one, that, when he throws that fastball, he's able to, a fastball for me, four-seam fastball is almost four pitches, up, down, in, out. And if you can command that like he does, it's going to give that hitter a different look. And he's so deliberate with his delivery. Everything looks the same coming out of the hand. And you enhance that with a really good changeup that he throws. That's a difference maker. I mean, it's coming at you. Here it is. Let it rip, and that's what Isaac does.
All right, you know what I've really enjoyed, and listen, there's that 6 2/3 into the seventh with a no-hitter. Paul Skeen's great, but Brian Reynolds gets the go-ahead hit yesterday for the run in the 10th. Henry Davis has another clutch hit. We talked about Connor earlier. I just like seeing how this lineup is kind of getting comfortable because of some of the other people, hitting the bombs and, plus clutch hitting too. And I love seeing Brian Reynolds' name in the box score doing good things because I still think he's a part of the future of this baseball team.
Yeah, his average, like always, his average is not great for the spring. He's at 245, 248 right now. But he's going to be okay. And if you can get through that early part of the season when he's not so good and have other guys carry and have him come in the clutch every once in a while, it's great. Joe, did you happen to see the home run the Crews hit off the actual top of the foul pole the other night?
I did. That was amazing.
And it happened to be
incredible. That's as close as you get, I guess so.
It happened
Which
to be.
goes back to the argument: why isn't it a fair pole rather than a foul pole?
That's a great point.
How about the other guy? When we talked about him, we actually met him at Pirate Fest a while back. When Connor gets the call, he's starting to wonder about his future. But Nick Gonzalez had 3 hits yesterday too, so that's nice to see.
And he's almost hitting 300. He's really doing well. Which I guess 300 isn't really a gauge anymore. People don't care as much about hitting 300. They want to know what's your OPS as opposed to 300. But if you ask me, other good things are going to come of it when you're getting on base at a clip of 3 out of every 10, in addition to walks and hit batsmen and things like that. So you got to love what Gonzalez is doing. He doesn't drive the ball, home run hitter like we had kind of thought when he first came up, but he's been very effective for them, Joe, and that's been really good. We haven't missed. I don't know that this is a good thing or a bad thing. We haven't missed Triola at all.
Well, again, I think that there's that balance, and we talked about it several times of how do you construct that lineup. And you got productivity at each third of the lineup. And when you get a couple of runners on at the bottom of the lineup, and then you got Cruz coming up to potentially tie a ball game or put you ahead. I mean, and then everything that follows that, it's a real good balanced lineup, and that's what's going to get you to winning a lot of baseball games. And I mean, 16-11 at this point, going into today's ball game. Really, who would have thought that in the preseason?
Yeah, going into the last week of April, a lot of times we're sitting here thinking, oh, the season's over, it's all drudgery and that kind of thing. It's really fun and refreshing to be talking so much about the Bucks right now.
Well, think about this. The Mets have been horrible. Boston horrible enough that Alex Cora got fired. I mean, so it's nice that the Pirates aren't the laughingstock of Major League Baseball. They're actually relevant. So I'm watching the big inning, again, MLB Network. They got 4 games going at one time because I got that kind of attention span. I love it. Absolutely love it. And there's the Pirates right smack dab in the middle of it all. And I'm just thinking, dear God, isn't it great to be a Pirate fan in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it was so much fun watching that Skeens game the other day, and I thought Joe Buck did a wonderful job. And announcers have to be real professional in not using the term perfect game or no-hitter and still describing what's going on so that fans realize it, and he danced around the topic so well in doing that game. I think it's really fun to watch a game that has, potential historic consequences and all the things that go around it, Joe.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, anytime that you're watching a game like that, I mean, you're glued to every pitch and every at-bat. And I mean, it just goes back to that dominance that he shows. I mean, you look at his opening day, right? He struggled. But we knew who Paul Skeens is. He's a competitor. He's going to come back. There's going to be times where he's going to have a little bit of a speed bump, and there's no question that when you put him on the mound, you have a chance to win.
Listen, we got to do one segment this week because we got Penguins to look at. They get a win. They get back into the W column to skate another day. Tomorrow night, Game 5. And then, of course, we're going to have a chance to talk all about this draft. Joe Butler's going to drop by. So we always appreciate your time, Skip. We'll do it again next week and probably get back to 2 segments next week, okay?
Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Joe. Have a great day.
MLB Network's probably going to steal him from me.
He's good.
Listen,
hopefully I don't talk too much to take up his time because he's great.
Listen, he's as good as it gets. I mean, he's really, really good. All right, I guess he would be. He's been a manager for a long time. Yeah. All right, we'll come back. We got the Penguins to talk about, and that young man from Mount Lebanon, probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen watching anything in sports. I don't know where it's going to go, but pretty special. Stay with us.
Your source for everything that's news. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah, and now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news! Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. In 613, exclusions apply.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out?
Spruce! 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 It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed. Spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, before we talk about the man they used to call Kid, who's now 38, got a goal yesterday. The Penguins stave off elimination Game 5 tomorrow night. In Pittsburgh, there's another kid that we're familiar with who grew up in Mount Lebanon. Bobby Palco coached him. He's a member of the midshipmen. So let's talk about this story, which I don't know where it's going to go, but it surely was nice in the moment.
It was cool. Eli Heidenreich is a kid, not a kid, he's a man, who Noah Hiles had chronicled his career during the end of the regular season, the pass-catching leader at the Naval Academy, and a guy who is he's a Swiss Army knife type football player. He'll do whatever the Steelers want him to do. They drafted him in the 7th round. I don't think that this was one of those, hey, the Steelers are doing a favor for somebody. I think they really look at this as a player who can come in and contribute in multiple ways. He's going to have to be a special teams contributor, but he can line up as a wide receiver. He can line up as a running back. He can line up in the slot for you, and he can certainly cover kicks and punts, probably be a return guy if necessary, although they did draft a guy to be their return guy. But, he can contribute in so many ways, and he can contribute to the makeup of the culture of that football team. He will be a leader in many ways. Eli Heidenreich is a guy that the Steelers and this fan base is going to be proud to have around here.
Joe Butler here coming up in a little bit. No one does it better. Longtime mentor behind Metro Index. And then, of course, we'll get Coach Donnie Barkley in here, Seneca Valley's head coach, former NFL lineman. And then Teddy will be here at 12:30. So we have a lot still to come on the draft. But the way the Pirates are playing, there's no way I'm going to take them out of the lead. But I got to tell you, if the Penguins just could have won maybe one more game to this point, I wouldn't be so worried. But listen, Sidney Crosby's always had the number of the Philadelphia Flyers. Yesterday, Muse decides to bench Skinner, which turned out to be a good thing. They got a couple of goals, obviously. The Penguins, Crosby gets the power play goal, and then they get a couple of empty netters. They win. They live to skate another day. A little bit of life is coming back to Pittsburgh. Should I be excited about that?
I think it might be a little early to be excited about it, but they're like the Monty Python movie. I'm not dead yet. They still came back. What a creative goal that Sidney Crosby scored on the power play. 5 seconds into the power play, he wins a faceoff, kind of goes to the high slot and takes a pass from really behind his back. A great pass by Carlson that had just the right tempo on it. If Carlson makes that pass that's going too fast, Crosby can't catch up to it to shoot it. If he goes too slow, he has to reach back and doesn't get it done. It was perfectly timed pass, and he just powered it right through the goaltender's glove into the back of the net. Really close call to right after that. The Flyers came back down, had a shot type of jam the puck into the net type of shot that they thought was a goal that went to replay that was called a no goal, that the puck never crossed the goal line, and really set and saved the Penguins' momentum there. It got a little bit scary, as they always do in a one-goal game in the last couple of minutes, but they were able to convert and get an empty netter and put the thing away.
All right, so, and by the way, Letang getting a goal is big, too. You get him going in the right direction, that's going to be a win-win. Do you think this is the last time we're going to see, no matter really what happens, or even if they win the Cup, which would be fantastic, Malcolm, Letang, and Crosby, you think this is the last year that we're going to see these three together?
Well, it's certainly not the last year you're going to see Crosby. You know he's going to be back.
But I mean all together, a collective group.
I think the chances are probably better than not that either Letang or Malkin retire or move on somewhere else. I kind of hope not. I still think that those three, when you build around them like the Penguins have done, I still think you're better than not if you have them.
Listen, we're going to brag about somebody you just mentioned. He used to be my producer. Mr. Comanche can pick him. He knows what he's doing. He's the best of the best. Noel Howes, what I really admire about him, he went out and ran the gambit, worked for the Times in my neck of the woods, Beaver County. But, he was doing all the baseball stuff at PG, and if he's listening or somebody who's listening, just tell him that his former coworker is saying this on the air. He's become very versatile. I mean, he does baseball. He's done the Steelers, and obviously he's done some college stuff. He's done some columns. He's done some special pieces. You talked about Eli, all those things he did for him and kind of put him on the map. he's turning out to be a really good byline in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that little son of a gun does a pretty good job when he's interviewed too. He's pretty good on air. So you could say, Rob, that you raised him from a kitten.
Listen, I got to tell you something. The talent, Lonzo, all these people, Greg Finley, Margot Rensel, I can't say enough about these producers. They've been carrying me for 40 years. But when you see a young man like that, and I bumped into him from time to time, and you're thinking, okay, good luck, you're going to do fine. Next thing you know, you see him in the PG, and now you see him all the time in the PG. So it's just nice. It's a good success story.
He had to be a little bit worried yesterday as to how he was going to spin the story with Eli if he didn't get drafted. If the Steelers don't pull that pick, how does he write that story as and Eli would have gotten a job as an undrafted free agent, but that would have been a completely different story than the welcome that he got from the Steelers fans. The fans were going nuts. It was
going crazy.
It was so much fun. The ESPN broadcasters were talking about they had goosebumps, and then at one point I can't remember which one of them said I'm about to come to tears. It was that emotional, that much of a good feel for the 7th round, probably my favorite 7th round draft pick of all time.
So Heidenreich, I know he played for Bobby. What else can you tell me about him? He got, I guess, a couple of schools, but he didn't get really many offers. But then his dream college, as they said, because of his dad and his grandfather with a military background.
Yeah, and he ended up actually attending the Naval Academy with a teammate from Mount Lebanon, Alex Teska. Alex, I apologize if I'm pronouncing that last name incorrectly, but so the two of them went to the Naval Academy together, and they ended up sharing a house with 3 other roommates with a young lady whose son was a Naval Academy cadet who had gotten killed in an auto accident, and she had room in her house, so she brought in the 5 cadets and kind of adopted them, even though they still have families. They've got like a second mom that took care of them all the time, and that they take care of too while they're at the Naval Academy. So it's just a great story. But yes, he was not offered scholarships from major Division I places. He was considering some of the D2 schools and things of that nature. But when the Naval Academy came around, and with his family history of his grandfather, I believe, having been in the Navy, it was a dream come true for him. And he had agreed. He had gotten his assignment. He was going to be in the Marines as I guess a ground fighter, if that's the term correctly. But that was his destiny in the as far as his military career, had it not been for the Steelers coming along and drafting him. And now he gets to be share some Steeler locker rooms with a guy like John Banaszak, who was a U.S. Marine, Rocky Blyer, who was an Army veteran. So there's some great stories of some military guys that have been through the Steelers, and hopefully this is just another of a great long line of stories.
One other note about the Flyers. They are young, and the Penguins are going to have to try to figure it out. But you know who I've been impressed with is this right winger, number 94, Porter Martone. This guy's 19 years old. He's got 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. I mean, 19 years old. Obviously, we think of Sidney, who is no longer a kid, but this kid is a kid.
He's a kid, but, Sid was at one time, too, as was Lemieux and those guys, and this guy shouldn't be mentioned in the same breath as them. He's going to be a solid NHL player, but not a superstar, and we need some more bodies on him during the rest of this series, if there is going to be a series to continue. I think the Penguins have a good chance of winning game, what is this, 5
right?
That's coming up. So you do that, then you take it back, and the pressure kind of gets back onto the Flyers if you can win this one. Come out. They play tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night. Okay. Here in Pittsburgh. So what's his name's going to be busy? Jimmy.
I hope so. That was a profit maker for all the folks down there. Hey, how about all of the way that the city handled the draft?
It was great. Great. We'll get into that later. Joe Butler, we're talking the draft, the NFL draft, 800,000 strong over the 3 days in the city of Pittsburgh. Rob Taylor's got your news next. Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show.
Growing a brand is hard, but reaching the right customers shouldn't be. Meet Outcomes from Viant. We've built an intelligent platform that handles the complexity of digital advertising for you. Powered by advanced AI, we help your brand show up in the right places at the right time and ensure that every dollar you spend leads to a real business result. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 135 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, and more. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
The Pittsburgh Speaker Series at Heinz Hall, presented by University of Pittsburgh, announces its 26-27 season. 7 evenings to deepen your understanding of the world around you, featuring Anderson Cooper, former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, historian Anne Applebaum, financial journalist Andrew Ross Sorkin, and former NASA Administrator Charles Bolden. The series is sponsored by News Radio KDKA and the Spanos Group of Raymond James. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghspeakers.org.
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, you have to know when to not talk. Sometimes you just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times, but when you need us, we're here for you, and we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 53 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11:30. I'm Rob Taylor. One person is dead. 3 others rushed to the hospital after a shooting in Armstrong County. This happened overnight in Vandergrift at the Nicky's Quick Six. That's on 1st Street in Vandergrift. It happened just after 1 o'clock this morning. As mentioned, one person is dead. 3 others were taken to the hospital from that scene. No word on any arrests. No word on the conditions of those 3 who were injured. In Duquesne, the city of Duquesne, a man is dead following an overnight shooting there. It happened around 1 o'clock, 1:30, in the 100 block of South 6th Street, where a man was found with a gunshot wound to the head. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A woman was detained at the scene, charges pending. KDK Radio News Time, 11:31. Next updates at noon. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh. News Radio KDK.
Pittsburgh's very own board-certified and licensed hypnotherapist Dan Vitchoff of the PA Hypnosis Center is here to help you. He has helped train U.S. Olympic team members control their brains, stay relaxed, focused, and in control, giving them the edge for the gold. He's recognized by many organizations around the world as one of the top hypnotherapists anywhere. He has gotten over 3,000 people to give up cigarettes for good in the last 22 years. He's helped folks even who've tried gastric bypass to lose weight. He can help you and give you a 98% success guarantee. Call 724-934-8446. That's Dan Vitchoff, the PA Hypnosis Center. Mention KDKA and get $50 off any program. But call for a free consultation today, 724-934-8446. The PA Hypnosis Center with Dan Vitchoff. Make that call today, 724-934-8446.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Call 1-800-598-6439. That's 1-800-598-6439. Or visit Plexiderm.com/trial. Paid for by Sheer Science.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Sunshine will make a return appearance this afternoon with a high of 65. Clear with a low of 44 tonight, then sun and some afternoon clouds tomorrow, high of warmer 74. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, here he is. Listen, he is the go-to guy. Greg and I were talking during the commercial break. Look, I enjoy everybody who makes a living when it comes to, breaking down talent in all sports. But this guy, Greg, let's be honest, Joe Butler, Metro Index, he's a little too humble, but let's be honest, he wrote the book on this whole thing.
Well, Joe was the original before the Mel Kipers of the world were out there. Joe knew what he was doing with his Metro Index camps and on the basketball side. Joe, a high school type talent coming out, going into college, and then taking the next step. Joe, you are the original and the guy that I always tip my hat to.
Listen, so Joe came to the home studio, and we went like 90 minutes, and he was just incredible. And he joins us now on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday. So the Steelers concluded the 2026 draft with a 10-player class focused on AFC North physical traits under new coach Mike McCarthy. And Mad Max, who was chosen in that first round, if you go back and watch the video from the home studio, you were spot on. So what made you believe in that lineman coming to Pittsburgh in the first round? Lemon kind of got snatched away, that pick earlier by Philadelphia, but still, you were right on the money. How are you, Joe?
Hey, good morning, guys. Hope everything's going well.
Good. So talk about Max. Why do you think that he was the guy?
Well, he comes out of Nigeria, then he goes to East Los Angeles Community College, where he got recruited. That development really helped him out. Then he goes to Arizona State and has 2 good years, but he's a guy on the rise. He'll get better. They needed depth at tackle. They needed depth at guard. They got 2 linemen, but Max is athletic. He can shuffle his feet when he's blocking somebody. He can bend in pass protection. He can play people that rush around the edge. So it's an upside pick. I don't know if he's going to come in and start right away. Or are they going to move Troy Fontano to guard? Who knows? Who knows what their plans are? But this guy is a down-the-road offensive tackle for them, which are hard to find in the NFL.
Hey, Joe, good morning. This is Greg.
Morning.
It's interesting. I thought for sure that it was the Falatanu to guard type situation, and then they come in and they pick Dunker, the kid from Iowa, who is clearly going to be the guy that I think is the guy that plugs in at their left guard, which was their position of need.
Yeah, they bring in Hoffman from the Cowboys. They sign him. McCarthy likes him a lot. He'll come in and start. But Dunker's a versatile player. He can play tackle.
Oh.
He can play guard, and he could potentially be a backup center. So he's a guy you bring in, a utility lineman that could come in and down the road be a potential starter, like McCormick that plays right guard for them. So it's a good draft pick in the 3rd round for Jennings Dunker.
Hey, Joe, as you analyze the Steelers draft, I think you'd be crazy not to take a look at what they did in the 3rd round in picking Drew Aller. Is he a potential guy who's your franchise-type quarterback? Is he a long-term security blanket? What happens now with the quarterback room if Aaron Rodgers comes back? What do you do with this whole mess that you have? That you have, too many bodies.
Yeah, I like competition, Greg. Drew Aller can create competition. He's a future quarterback. I told Rob, last week on his show, I said, look, Vince Lombardi said, when do you start a rookie quarterback in his fourth year? This is a guy down the road that could develop. But Aaron Rodgers, I hope he comes back this year. He gets the ball out quick. I like the way he plays. He's a coach on the field. His quickness isn't there, but he can orchestrate an offense. You have to have a great offensive line for a guy like Aaron Rodgers because he's not athletic enough. But you got Mason Rudolph. I think he's pretty good. You got Will Howard with upside. You got Drew Aller now. Maybe Rodgers won't come back. Who knows? But you got to have quarterbacks to win in this league, as we all know. He's a potential guy. I wish he would have stayed in college one more year if he could have. Drew Aller, but who knows? He's decided to come in a draft. Third round, fourth round was a good position for him. He's a developmental guy that could come around pretty quickly.
So if we go up one round to Jeremy Bernard, the wide receiver from Alabama, who I think, I felt like he was the most exciting of the picks because he's the guy that's most likely to have an impact as we start this upcoming season. He's the guy that's most likely to be on the football field.
He's going to play. He's a number 2 or 3 receiver. He's solid. He catches the ball and immediately looks downfield. He's got great vision. He knows how to get open in the seams. He's underneath the safety and behind the linebacker kind of guy. And he has good quickness. He doesn't have great speed, but he has good enough speed. But speed's deceptive, Greg. Jerry Rice didn't run great in college and for the pros, but he's one of the greatest receivers of all time. He just knows how to get open. He's got game speed. He catches the ball on the run. And this Jeremy Bernard is that kind of type player. He's not a Jerry Rice guy, but he's a good receiver. So you got 3 real good receivers right now, plus some good backups. Hope Roman Wilson can come around. That will help them.
It's kind of like the 2 guys that are being chased by the bear. You only have to be faster than the other guy, right?
Exactly.
All right, let's move on.
Be a smart runner.
Let's move on to round 4, Joe and Greg. 121st pick, Caden Wetjen, a wide receiver, but he's a return specialist. He's out of Iowa, and I was watching some of the footage of him early this morning before I came to work. He can scoot, so let's talk about that 4th-round pick. Go ahead, Joe.
He's explosive with the ball as a returner. But the game changed with this new kickoff rule. You got to be have very good field vision. You got to pick your holes when you're returning kickoffs. He could be a great punt returner. He fields the ball well. He's small, but he's explosive. He's got top end speed. He's got good hands. He's quick. I like him. I don't know if he needed to be picked in the 4th round, but they liked him a lot for the special teams. Punt returners can change a game. Kickoff returners can change a game, change momentum. He's the kind of guy that might fit in well in that system, in the Steelers system.
Hey, can I jump out of the Steelers draft for 1 second for a question with Joe?
Yeah.
Joe, I don't think I have ever seen what happened late in the 1st round when Notre Dame's 2nd-string running back was drafted in the 1st round, had never started a game at Notre Dame, and became a 1st-round draft pick.
Boy, that guy's good. He's explosive, strong. I'll tell you, they had 2 great running. Notre Dame's getting some really good players. Marcus Freeman's and his staff are doing a great job recruiting. I agree with you, but that guy is a heck of a player, and he's powerful, and he's a downhill runner, and he's a great guy to have on your team. That might be one of the best picks of the draft that nobody knew about.
Wouldn't that be crazy? So speaking of guys that nobody knew about, another Notre Dame guy that the Steelers select in the 6th round, Gabriel Rubio, who looked like ESPN was kind of shocked. They didn't have any film package on him. Nobody knew anything about this guy. He missed, I think, the last 7 or 8 games of the season last year. Did you know, or do you now know a whole lot about him, Joe?
Yeah, he wasn't rated high. I don't trust these ratings. I don't trust these Mel Kiper saying this team's an A+ and this team's a C. We'll know in December of 2028 where the draft classes are. It's too hard right now to evaluate them. Gabriel Rubio's been not playing a lot because he had an injury bugaboo. But this kid it plays with arm extension. I put it on Twitter. I watched this film this morning. He's got good arm extension, reads the runs, stacks blockers, creates tackling lanes for linebackers. I like this guy. Strong. He's going to be a zero technique or a one. He's going to what that is. They play over in the gap between the guard and center. He can create double teams. This guy's going to be a good player if he can stay healthy. But he's 6'5", and he weighs about 310, 315. He really reads the run well. So who knows? He could really be a kind of a sleeper in this draft.
All right, Joe Butler, one more segment, the man behind that legendary brand of yesteryear, Metro Index, but he's still doing it at a high level. We'll come back and we'll talk about round 5, 169 pick, Riley Nowakowski, tight end fullback out of Indiana. Did you see Kurt Signetti? That coach said, no personal appearances. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not promoting any product. I'm going to be all in on football. But when you make $13 million a year, you can afford to stay home. But man, this guy's not going to take his foot off the pedal. I think he wants to do this again. I thought maybe it would never happen in my lifetime, but it just might.
It's going to be hard to find another Mendoza.
You still think he is all that? And I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying that the game is so reliant upon quarterbacks, and he doesn't have another one in his system. So,
but hey, Joe and Greg, look. I love the kid. But he's so nice. You know what I mean? He's the guy you want your daughter to go to the prom with. I get it. I hear his press conferences. He's a man of God. Loves his mom who's dealing with MS. He decided to stay in Miami, stayed away from the glitz and glamour. But I've only seen one that do it. Speaking of Eli in the Navy, was that Heisman Trophy guy, Roger Staubach, who simply said, I enjoy sex as much as Joe Namath. The only difference, I enjoy it with one woman. You know, so he's a good guy.
What fun is that?
Listen,
I'm just kidding, world. I'm just kidding.
You've done pretty well for yourself. Yes. But listen, you got to have an edge to you. And, I mean, of all the teams that he goes to, Kenny Stabler, the Raiders, I mean, this guy.
In Vegas.
I know. I mean, maybe there is a God after all. A little divine intervention.
Hopefully he doesn't go off the rails like Todd Marinovich. Remember Marinovich?
That one let him
never had a hamburger.
No candy bar, but he was good. He really was a good player. USC. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We're going to focus on some more Steeler picks and, of course, get his overall thoughts of the draft. He's Joe Butler. This is the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
When you need to know, depend on the news leader. At home, in your car, or at work. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM, AM 1020, and KDKA-radio.com.
My friends at NASCO Roofing take pride in exceeding customer expectations. Stephanie from Murraysville used NASCO for minor roof repairs. When a storm created substantial roof damage, she called NASCO. NASCO worked with Stephanie's insurance company and installed a beautiful brand new roof. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Stephanie. Get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Accounts subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
I guess we should say the old Ralph Edwards game show, or show if you remember. Joe Butler, this is your life. Just let the folks know what the great Jerry Schmidt, Duquesne football coach, just sent you a text message.
Yeah, Coach Schmidt reached out. He's listening to this show, Joe, and he let us know that you taught him at St. Bernard's when he was in 7th grade, and he had great fond memories.
What a great guy, and he had an awesome family, so Jerry's doing a terrific job at Duquesne.
Love it, and he's shopping at the Banksville Coons Market right now, so we appreciate your support, Coach, and he'll be back with us during the regular season. All right, so let's talk about Nowakowski. Does this mean McCarthy's going to have a little smash-mouth fullback going for him? Because I think they have enough tight ends. What do you think about him? Go ahead, Joe.
Well, he fills a void. They lost Connor Hayward, and this guy's really good. He's 6'2.5", 250, catches the ball on the run, can block like a lineman, knows release points. He can run the ball, and he's got some pretty quick feet. I mean, this guy's a good prospect to get in the 5th round, and he's a good, solid player coming out of Indiana's program, a no-nonsense collegiate program. Guys play hard. They love the game. They're well prepared for the NFL by Kurt Cignetti.
Joe, I'm not sure if this guy would have played for McCarthy at Green Bay or if he was back in the days prior to McCarthy, but John Kuhn, who was Shippensburg College, right, was part of the draft production and one of the he announced a couple of the Packers picks. That when they talked about this kid being a fullback, immediately brought to mind a Green Bay Packer fullback, and John Kuhn's name came right to mind.
Yeah, I remember John Coons. He was a good player. I think he was from the Harrisburg area. This guy's good. He's got some. If you watch his film, it's on YouTube. He's got pretty quick feet, and he's athletic. I like guys like him. He can catch the ball below his knees, above his head, and never drops the ball. He's ball security. He's excellent. I like guys like him. He's strong. This is a good guy to bring in. People are not rating this draft high, but they're bringing in some players that are going to help the team out in key positions, like Riley Nowakowski. He's a good player.
Joe, when you talk about being able to catch balls that aren't, hitting you right in the breadbasket, one of the things that I always enjoy is the individual workouts or the pro days that players have, and watching when they have running backs, tight ends, and receivers catch balls on routes that are not thrown to them from their own quarterbacks, but are thrown from coaches or scouts in guys who tend to not throw the ball in the breadbasket. Whether they're aiming for the breadbasket or not, they're throwing lousy passes to them, but it gives guys an opportunity to show that they can catch passes in spots where they're, not automatic catches.
I agree. There's not too many Tom Brady's out there put the ball right in the button all the time. But this, you got to be able to catch the ball at knee level, even down at ankle level, and above your head, you got to have verticality, Greg. I agree. And then you got to look downfield and run with the ball. So it's an instinct. To anticipation, and it's necessary. And Riley Nowakowski has that ability. I mean, he's going to help them out. He'll come in and block. He'll run the football inside. For a 5th round pick, this guy's pretty good. I like it, love it, really like this pick.
All right, Greg talked about Gabriel Rubio, so let's move ahead now. 224th overall, Robert Spears Jennings, safety out of Oklahoma, then Eli Heidenreich out of Mount Lebanon, and, of course, Midshipman Navy. He, of course, chosen in the 7th round. Give me your thoughts on those two, Joe, quickly. I got a couple of minutes left. All yours.
Robert Spears Jennings ran extremely well. At the combine. He's a free safety. The Steelers are loaded with strong safeties. They needed a free safety. They picked up this guy in the 7th round. He's athletic. He's tough. Covers sideline to sideline. He's a good prospect, right under a 4.4. He's got vertical jump. I like him. That's a good prospect for the 7th round. Eli Heidenreich he's a really good football player, a utility guy. He can play running back, a Danny Woodward type. He can play slot receiver for them. He'll be a special teams guy. And if they really needed him, he's a good safety. He can play in the secondary. Played it in high school, could have played it at Navy. So he brings a lot of versatility as a 7th round pick, a kid with really good hands, good football knowledge, a tough kid that can run and finish plays. So I think they did a really good job with their draft. Dalen Everett, the 3rd round pick, the 2nd, 3rd round pick, is a really good corner. Joey Porter 2.0. I think they did a really good job with the draft.
All right, Joe, quickly before we let you go, overall, we were talking about 9 offensive linemen in the 1st round, most, I believe, since they took 10 in 1968. Just your thoughts on multiple picks. People say Dallas did good. Obviously, the Jets, they say maybe the best draft in over 10 years. So who's the winners, who's the losers as far as the draft is concerned? Go ahead.
Now the Cowboys did really well. The Eagles did well. The Giants did pretty good. The Colts did good. But, like I said, Rob, we'll know in December of 2028 how this all works out. And it's easier said than done. But a lot of these guys never develop. Injuries come into play. Some guys don't really love the game. They love the recruitment process. But you got to take guys that play hard, are functional ability to handle coaching, and I think some teams got some really good draft picks, and the Cowboys are one of them. The Browns did a great job. Bringing in kids. You got this quarterback they brought in, Taylon Green. You know who he reminds me of? People are going to say, "Hey, Joe, you're crazy." He reminds me of Harold Carmichael.
Wow.
Remember him?
Yeah.
He didn't play quarterback. He was a wide receiver for the Eagles.
Right.
This kid's a quarterback, but I think this kid Taylon Green could be a wide receiver. The Browns are loaded with quarterbacks, but this kid's got versatility. It wouldn't surprise me if he becomes like a Harold Carmichael type wide receiver down the road.
Who is
I'm reaching a little bit, but my mind's spinning. But I think this guy's an athlete. This Taylon Green.
Who was the other quarterback in college who came to the pros and was a wide receiver and played for the Browns? Come on.
Played for the Browns. Oh, Cribbs.
Terrell Pryor.
Oh, well. Yeah, he
Terrell Pryor. There was another one from Kent State. I can't remember his name.
Julian Edelman.
Edelman.
No, not Edelman. Edelman went to the Patriots. He was a quarterback at Kent, but there was another one that returned kicks for the Browns. He was
Cribbs.
A good player. I
Joe
can't
Cribbs.
remember his name.
Cribbs, Joe.
Joshua Cribbs. Yeah, he was a quarterback, and he became a wide receiver and a kick returner. Versatility is important. You have a 53-man roster, athletic ability, skill development. You never know what's going to happen. Guys going to change. They need to change positions in the NFL. They're starting to do it little by little.
Cribbs signed as an unrestricted free agent.
I believe that is correct.
I know. And Rob, we haven't even brought up undrafted free agents.
Go ahead.
We talked about it on a previous show. Donnie Shell, undrafted, South Carolina State in the Hall of Fame. So take a look at some of these undrafted free agents that the Steelers and other teams signed, and they put a statistic up on ESPN. 63% of the players in the NFL are 4th through 7th round and undrafted free agents. That's an amazing stat that gets totally overlooked.
Hey, Joe, you're the best. I can't thank you enough for coming to the home studio and doing this today. Reach out if I can help, but I will definitely be reaching out again, okay?
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Joe, let's catch up, man.
He's strong. I mean, you should see. I'm looking at his penmanship the other day at my house. I mean, I know elementary school teachers who would use him just to teach young people the proper way to print and write. Cursive, I mean, just beautiful, man.
I'd like to have the money that he has spent in yellow legal pads in his life, because every time I talk to him, he's got a yellow legal pad with all kinds of
But you know what's crazy is he hurt his knee playing high school football, and his dad took him back to see the coach when the doc said you can't play anymore. And the coach said, hey, maybe you can help us out. And he said that changed his life forever. So, hey, one moment in time, and that's why Joe Butler is Joe Butler.
He's the man.
He is the man. All right, and plus he was a parochial school teacher. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All right, coming up, he's Donnie Barclay. He's the head coach of Seneca Valley. One more time, we'll get a thought on him saying, hey, I was a former offensive lineman. Why so many offensive linemen chosen in the first round of the National Football League draft? And then Ted Arnaud is here at the bottom of the hour. Our draft review show continues. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA. News is next.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Being diagnosed with leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, or one of over 100 other types of blood cancer makes people want more time to do the things they love. We are Blood Cancer United. We do the most for more people with blood cancer. Join us at bloodcancerunited.org.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 55 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Shots rang out at last night's annual White House Correspondents' Dinner, where President Trump says he was the target of an attempted assassination. Following a brief exchange of gunfire, Secret Service agents quickly tackled the alleged shooter, 31-year-old Cole Allen from Torrance, California, just north of Los Angeles. The suspect is in custody. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe, who was at the dinner, spoke this morning on CBS's Face the Nation.
The president, who'd wanted to continue with the dinner, was held backstage by Secret Service for more than an hour. When he returned to the White House, he and cabinet secretaries headed to the briefing room.
In that moment, when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
It's always shocking when something like this happens. Happened to me a little bit, and that never changes.
Senior U.S. official says authorities found anti-Trump and anti-Christian rhetoric on the suspect's social media accounts. One person is dead, 3 others injured at a shooting at a bar in Armstrong County. This happened around 1 this morning at the Nicky's Quick 6 bar on 1st Street in Vandergrift. Right now it's unclear the conditions of the 3 people who were taken to the hospital. No word on any arrests or suspect descriptions. And a man is dead after an overnight shooting in Duquesne. Allegheny County police say the man was found dead at a home at a 100 block of South 6th Street. He had a gunshot wound to the head. A woman was detained at the scene. KDK Radio News Time, it's 12:02. We've got the AccuWeather forecast in just 2 minutes.
Rob Pratt here. I'm talking with our good friend John Diagardi of Rome Monument about monument plans designed to meet the needs of different faiths. John, how do these pre-need plans work?
Whatever your faith, Catholic, Jewish, Protestant, or Orthodox, we have a customized monument plan for you. It enables you to get the exact monument design you want in accordance with the traditions of your religion and do so at the price you want to pay.
How important is pre-planning a monument in harmony with one's faith?
Rob, it should be as important as planning an insurance policy, a will, or choosing a cemetery. And pre-planning enables you to design, plan, and pay for the monument that best reflects you and your faith. It's also a thoughtful gift to children because it relieves them of the stress and financial responsibility of making these decisions after you passed.
Friends, learn more about these 3-year interest-free plans at one of Rome Monument's 9 showrooms or click romemonuments.com.
Been 30, time would have been 30, no, would have been 30, being 30, been 29. If that'll help, been 29,000.
Get ready to bid on the equipment you need in the Ritchie Brothers Northeast Regional Auction on May 5th. Inventory is housed at locations in Pittsburgh, North Franklin, and Northeast Maryland, with in-person inspections available. Bid on a wide selection of construction and transportation equipment. Don't miss this great opportunity. Visit rbauction.com/Pittsburgh to sign up. Again, that's rbauction.com/Pittsburgh.
Andy Amrine here for Harmony Garden Organic Insect Control. This is not your average garden variety insect killer. Harmony is your only insect control you need for your garden. Nothing is safer, nothing works better than Harmony. Spray your trees, flowers, plants to kill garden pests including aphids, green fruit worms, mites, soil lice, and russets. To get your bottle of Harmony, ask for it at any participating True Value hardware store or online at harmonyoic.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Will turn out mostly sunny with a high of 65 this afternoon, then clear, low 44 tonight. Warming up with sun and afternoon clouds, high 74 tomorrow. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
Maxie Hanashore. Why am I saying it the very first thing as we rejoin you for hour number 2? Because I'm not going to try to pronounce it again, okay? But thank you, Google, and thank you, Gemini AI, for all the good help over the weekend and all the videos. So we do know his name, and this guy was the one saying a couple of times over the last few weeks, Coach Barkley of Seneca Valley, offensive line. It happened because Lemon got snatched right from their hands by the Philadelphia Eagles. 9 offensive linemen in all, Coach Barkley. Are you shocked or is that business as usual? Go ahead and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, guys. Hey, we've been talking about this for weeks. They took it. They took the lineman. Greg, I know you were arguing with us about this. Hey, I'm not going to lie. Love the pick.
Oh, Donnie, that's the worst, most boring pick we've ever had as a Steelers fan.
Love it. Love it. They don't need the receiver. This was a great pick. Great pick. And you know too. But I'll tell you what, I'm high on this Max guy. I mean, watching his film, watching him down at the Senior Bowl, I think that he had a heck of a week down there. I think he looks a little bit more polished and some of these other tackles, even though he hasn't played the game as long. But I'm super high on him. Love the pick. Didn't agree on maybe all the picks, but this one I am for the first one.
Donnie, you're one of the 2% of Steelers fans who had ever heard of this guy before the draft. I'd never heard of him, and I'm in the business. But come on, we reached so badly for this pick, and it was only because what we really wanted we didn't get.
I'm going to disagree.
He was destroying the guys, the DNs down there at the Senior Bowl that everyone was slobbering over.
And this Lemon that everybody's raving about, I don't think he has the physical size to make it in the National Football League. I don't. And I know we did great at USC, and I know the Eagles won him, and that means A.J. Brown's leaving and all the other stuff. But I'll take Mad Max for sure. Here's the other thing. When you think about the Steelers guys, think about the last couple of years. Fatanu, Jones, Frazier. So are we there now with this guy? Because he can maybe move to left tackle if we need be. What about it, Coach?
You said it right there. I mean, I think it gives a healthy competition for the left tackle, and at the worst, you have another guy in the mix to at least be a third option. I think there was a great draft pick with the guard from Iowa as well to get some, solidify the middle part of the line. I do think they're there, and it kind of, they're putting the pieces together, the building blocks to have long longevity as far as success down the road. They're not doing an immediate thing for this year. That's what I like about it. I think that if you would go on receiver, skill guy. It's flashy, but it's maybe a fix for this year and some immediate success. But this lineman, that they took in the first, I absolutely love it.
Tony, I think it's interesting, and we don't know the background on that pick as far as what is the medical report on Broderick Jones. We also don't know the background, the history, or the results of the Aaron Rodgers conversations, and is that why they had to reach and take Allar with the third round pick because the quarterback situation could be an emergency. So were both of those picks, one of those, hey, this is an emergency, we need to fill those spots, or were we really think these guys can be helpful to us down the road? And if it can be helpful down the road, are the Steelers really that good this year that they can be worried about down the road?
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough with this whole Aaron Rodgers thing. I mean, I know the past 2 years has been tough for the fan base, for the front office. I'm sure. I'm not high on the whole Aller pick. I haven't been high on him for a while. That's just me. I think that there was plenty of opportunities that he had along the way over the past couple of years to really showcase himself in high-profile games. I think he's been around a really good squad over there the past couple of years at Penn State too. So he's had plenty of chances. He just hasn't. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But around that pick, I do like these guys. I mean, pretty much to me, they're saying, hey, one of the two guys that are on the team right now, maybe you're not cutting it. So maybe it gives a healthy competition in that QB room as well, just like we're talking about the left tackle position.
I think Rodgers' chance of coming back is solidified more with what they did in the first round as opposed to getting another wide receiver. I think Michael Pittman Jr. and DK Metcalf are more than enough. I think the running game is solid. I think they're thinking, look, if we have to move this young man to left tackle if Broderick Jones doesn't work out, I think this move makes Aaron Rodgers want to come back more, despite Drew Aller. Forget about that, because there's no way that guy's going to compete against Aaron Rodgers or Will Howard. I think this move in the first round more and less guarantees Aaron Rodgers coming back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who wants to jump in on that?
You're exactly right, Rob. I mean, come on, you got to write the headlines here. Big Mike comes back to town. Aaron's only going to come back. It's only right. I mean, it's going to happen.
He needs to be protected. And if this guy's got to go to right tackle left tackle, or Fatanu goes to left tackle, healthy bodies, wide bodies. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable as opposed to having to run for my life to throw the football to Lemon, who I don't even know if he's going to make it in the NFL. That's just, I think getting an offensive lineman is saying, look, we're going to put some money to protect you, so come on back and mentor these guys for another year or possibly two. My thought process. Aaron Rodgers is coming back to Pittsburgh. I really believe that.
Yeah, and Donnie, I think one of the things you have an influence of, you look at how the Eagles and Howie Roseman helped build the Eagles in the trenches with the offensive and defensive line. You brought over Andy Weidel to be an influential aspect of the personnel department, and I think that influence is why we said, let's build the trenches. We want to make a really good offensive line. I thought the Dunker pick from Iowa, Donnie, is also going to be very good for them.
Oh, I love it.
So it looks like the influence from the Eagles of building in the trenches is going to be very important for that.
100%. I personally thought the Steelers had a heck of a draft.
Me too.
I said, as far as the Aller pick, I mean, I think that's kind of the outlier, but as every other pick around that, in my opinion, I thought that it was an A. I grade them at an A. I thought they hit all the holes they needed. I thought maybe if you weren't going to go one of those routes that they did, I think they could have had a little bit more help on defense and attack that area. But I mean, at the same breath, you got a lot of guys that are so proven and they have great leadership. You could still count on them. They got their legs are still healthy. You got to ride them while they're still hot and heavy. But as far as all their other holes, they definitely attacked. I thought it was a great draft.
Hey, Donnie, just switching gears a little bit, if I'm the athletic director at Ohio State, I'm firing Ryan Day. They must have had 400 first-round draft picks from Ohio State. How do you not win the national championship when 11 of your players are in the first round?
Especially those wide receivers.
Greg, So I have a big text message with my coaching staff here at Seneca. That's exactly what they said. They go, how embarrassed could they be to not go further than they did? And all these guys are taking the first day. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, and then to add insult to injury, when you talk about that type of a situation, Penn State must have had 15 guys picked.
I know.
With all the talent that they had, they have to have been, well, Franklin got fired halfway through the year because of it, but for them to have the results that they had as a team with all of those individuals being drafted as highly as they were, that's a little bit of an egg on the face type of moment.
Listen, I've been coached up by a few guys in Pittsburgh in the corporate world, and I've been doing this a long time. Let me tell you what Mike McCarthy did. He came rolling into town, hugs and kisses for Will Howard, and then he said, let's get Aller in here to push this guy, and he's going to use Aller to push all the right buttons to make Will Howard become the cream of the crop, and he's going to have another year or two with Aaron Rodgers. That whole deal, because the guy was injured last year, and it may pan out, but that was more to push Will Howard. I really believe that.
Well, also, Rob, I think they got to be looking to trade Mason Rudolph if they can get anything.
If I'm Mason Rudolph, I don't want to stay here.
Nah,
and he'll be fine. He'll make a lot of bank. There's no doubt about it. Hey, this Dunker guy. Why am I all in on this kid? And I've been in on him before he came here, but you guys are all watching footage because you want to see his footwork and all this stuff. I'm watching these food things that he's been doing on video. I'm loving him. What's the best thing to dip? All this other stuff, as in Dunker. The mullet, this whole idea. You mean you just wash your hair with hand soap? Why does it look so good? This guy, people are going to love him in Pittsburgh. If I'm the Permani brothers, he's the first call I make to get him into my restaurants to promote, because they're expanding the private equity. They're growing.
You mean Dunkin' Donuts isn't on that list?
That's why you're the agent right there. That's exactly who I would be.
He's a Dunkin' Dunker.
He's just handsome kid, but he's a character. He's larger than life. Pittsburgh's going to love this guy. And you tell me, can he play football? That's what I want to know. Go ahead, Coach.
First of all, he looks like a country boy. He looks like an easygoing guy. He fit right in here in the city of Pittsburgh, number one.
I love him.
And second off, he moves pretty dang good for his position. He'd probably crush a Permani sandwich in 2 bites too, Rob. But as far as his play, what's even more impressive is that whole Iowa line is on an NFL team right now. I mean, that's crazy. Left tackle, the right tackle. Dunker looks good, though. I mean, just watching some of his film at the Senior Bowl, well, for his size, his speed and weight to carry that, he moves his feet really, really well, and he looks like he's got some man strength and farm boy kind of strength. I think he'd be a great person to compete right at that left guard spot right away. Obviously, he's young. It's hard to project him as a starter, but he's definitely going to be in the mix. Like I said, they filled their holes. It's a great draft.
All right,
Tony, did you ever come across a guy that we represented, and he's pretty much a legendary strength coach in the league, Tom Maslinski? Do you know Milo?
I never met him.
I just wanted, his son now is going to be the starting center at Iowa, and probably would have started everywhere else in the country except for at Iowa last year because they were so loaded at their offensive line position. I thought maybe you'd know him. That's all.
All right, listen, I got to keep you one more because this is your last appearance. Grateful to the end, so this means I have to come out there and do videos to promote Seneca Valley this year. I know how you guys work.
Well, you mean the University of Seneca Valley?
Oh, I love that school district. I do. I mean, back in the day, man, when they got turf, like way back in the day, and I was doing play-by-play, I wanted to be in that press box. I would have paid them to be in that press box. But when we come back, I want to talk about some other teams, but I also want to talk college. Cal Lewis, I wish you'd have went earlier. But you see the big billboard, Pitt, 11 members in the Hall of Fame. I want to talk about his alma mater, West Virginia, and Pitt. How do we make them more relevant on draft day when we come back with Coach Donnie Barclay of Seneca Valley and, of course, Greg Diolis Law, Milk and Honey Sports Entertainment, your Pratt Pack Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
When you need to talk, we're here for you. Always have been. News Radio KDKA.
It's time to spring into deals at Lowe's. Freshen up your yard with Stay Green Premium 2 cubic foot mulch. 5 bags for $10. Then get what you need to keep clothes, food, and dishes fresh with up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an additional $100 on select laundry pairs. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Everything you knew about reaching customers online is being rewritten. Time to rethink your approach. Outcomes from Viant finds real customers, not impressions, not clicks, customers. Our AI maximizes every dollar of your budget against the outcomes that matter most and proves it happened. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
In 1945, my grandparents made sausage using the finest ingredients and a lot of love. I'm Ernie Ritchie. After 80 years, the recipe never changed. Visit our store and celebrate our 80th anniversary. Ritchie's Italian Sausage. It's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Yeah, this is a tradition, this incredible show that we love so much, all about home cooking. And by the way, been hearing a lot about the Hall of Fame high, about Aliquippa. And, of course, you got more members in the Hall of Fame from that high school than any other high school in the country. You know, people like Rivas and Law and Ditka. But, listen, I love Pitt, West Virginia there, too. So what's it going to take for these two schools to start having more players drafted into the NFL? Coach, you first.
Yeah, I mean, I think WVU and Pitt has had, good runs over the past decade or two as far as getting guys. It's so tough with the portal right now as well to keep guys. Like I look at like Mesidor went the first day. He was a WVU guy, obviously transferred out.
Yep.
But retaining these guys is the hardest thing. Obviously done at WVU, my man Rich Rod, he obviously his first year last year. I think he'll get things definitely moving in the right direction. There was a lot of positive that come out of that spring game from what I heard, and just retaining guys and getting the right core group down there for what his mentality is. I mean, he runs a different show down there. So I think once he gets them in place, you'll see a lot more guys get ripped off on these draft days. But I think it's also, it's so hard that I'm listening to the draft yesterday and, guys bragging about their conference getting more draft picks, but that guy came from the ACC or the SEC. And it's like, it's so hard. I think what you're going to see over these next so many years is just schools will have 8 to 10 guys drafted, and then they might hit a lull. And then, it picks up a couple years later. I think it's so hard to sustain, year in, year out, just like Ohio State and Georgia might do, where they get 8 or 10 guys. Texas A&M had a good run this past weekend. So I look forward to them, to definitely grow that on WVU. It's hard for me to speak good about Pitt, Rob. I can't speak good about Pitt. I can't speak good about Penn State.
That's okay.
As much as I want to talk crap on them, WVU did not have a guy drafted this weekend. So as much as that kills me to say that, it was the truth.
Well, they did. Mesidor got stolen away from them, and there was another guy in the top 3 rounds that was a transfer from WVU, and his name escapes me. But they had actually 2 guys that started there and got transferred out.
So let me ask you both this. And look, Narduzzi, Rodriguez, Salty the Earth, love them both. But is it a different era? Social media dominates. Maybe that Bill Belichick thing in North Carolina doesn't work. Have they aged out? And we know they can coach, but can they recruit and keep players in this modern era of social media and everything's got to be a splash? Do they have that kind of pizzazz? What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, I think too, it's like everyone's trying to figure out how this whole landscape works, how the money side of it works, how much money is the team allotted, all that. I mean, and how much is behind the scenes kind of deal. Because at the same breath, how does all these top tier schools keep retaining the top guys or bringing the top guys in if there is kind of an equal playing field for distribution of money? So that's the hardest thing. But I do think that you're definitely going to hit these runs like you've seen over the years with like a Rich Rod run, maybe not these blue chip schools to have some good success. But I will say this, I wanted to mention this too, being down there at the draft yesterday. I was very fortunate to go down. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but every school in the WPIAL that had a former draft pick, their high school got sent down, and you got to send a player from the high school team, which was pretty dang cool. And speaking of that, especially for a school like Pitt, it was great to get some, marketing and notoriety around that. So that was awesome. And for these local kids, so what they did was if you had a kid drafted, you were automatically invited and you got sent home with a football with the draft pick's name on the football. If you had a Hall of Famer from your school, you got sent with the gold helmet home.
Oh.
So that was awesome.
Man.
Yeah. So like obviously Aliquippa, Central with Marino,
wow.
Woodland Hills, they had some Hall of Famers. So that was a great experience for these local young boys.
That's pretty cool.
Those helmets.
Seneca had Brandon Fusco, who got drafted the year before. He graduated high school a year before I did, so he was our nominee.
That's pretty cool.
That was a pretty neat. So they kind of rushed through it on ESPN, but I was glad when you mentioned that you were going to be going down there for that. I was glad that. Did they take care of you guys? Did you get to do like the backstage and all that stuff, Don?
They took care of the kids really good. So us high school coaches kind of stood up to the side, got caught up with each other, kind of BS on the side about the off-season deals, but the kids took it all in and they got to walk down the tunnel through the hall where the players, when they got announced, touching all the logos, and they stood out on stage with Roger before they announced the first pick on the last day.
Listen, make no mistake about it. You played at the highest level, and that's something you'll take with you to your grave. The thing I love the most about the draft, these young men who have put so much sweat equity, and the only way I can compare what I'm about to say, when I did television for 20 years, we had more footage than anybody, and probably still in the old Rhino Productions vault of anyone in Pittsburgh, because we started it before anybody. One day I'm in the studio doing one show and another show, and I took a break in between, bought everybody pizza, and we got out the old 8mm film. And we're watching the Aliquippa Midgets, and this young man just zip, 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 doing amazing things. We're high-fiving each other, and I'm like, who is that? Oh, that's Ty Law. And I just thought to myself, what people don't realize, all of the work and how these mountain of men can be brought to tears. It is a very emotional thing, and how they handle themselves with class and the nice suits, but they're articulate. They take time. They thank God. They love their mother. It really is kind of special, isn't it, Coach?
It is. And I mean, the amount of guys that they brought back to announce these picks, I mean, whether they were Pittsburgh guys or, played in the state of Pennsylvania for college. I mean, it's just great to see. It's great to see Cam even come out there and bring that energy the first day with TJ. I mean, that's what you want. The sport has to keep growing. I think they did a great deal down here this whole weekend in Pittsburgh. It was awesome for our city. The whole build-up around it, I mean, we might not ever see this again. So I hope everyone enjoyed it and took it all in.
So my second favorite moment of the draft was Mark Ingram's kid. When he got up there and he said,
hey, but I got to see Curtis Martin again.
Yeah.
Man, I remember him. Oh, what a great football player. Johnny Stallworth, Jerome Bettis, great. But I got to ask you this, because you're the only one in the room that did it. What's it like, all that joy and the journey to get there, but then, as in everything, 60 minutes of football comes to an end and you take the pads off for the last time and you kind of know you're not going to play again. And I know you're getting some juice being a coach, but what's it like when that epic journey comes to an end, Coach? What's the thought process like?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't drafted. I was undrafted, but being down there and so my opportunity would have been the last day if I had a chance. So, being down there for, hearing that bell ring and starting up that day 3 of the draft was pretty cool. And it kind of made me think about in 2012 when I had my opportunity and you're sitting around. So I kind of got chills there watching them start up and the high school kids being up there and being around. But I think what the coolest thing is, I'm walking out when I'm going to meet up with my high school player, Jonah Balker, who went down with me, and I'm walking around the stadium and I see a guy, Lynn Swan, standing on the side of Acrisure Stadium under a tent, shaking all these fans' hands.
Great guy.
Giving everyone an opportunity to come up, say hi, take a picture with them. That's what it's all about. It's about everyone staying connected, and that's the kind of man Lynn is.
He would have been a great governor, and I still say that to this day. But what was it like when you knew you were done playing football and you would never play again? What's that emotion like after you spent your entire life playing football?
To be honest with you, Rob, I was someone that was just trying to get a chance. I was, and I got a chance, and I was very happy with my career. There's obviously days you'd wake up after your career's done. You're like, man, I feel like I could still keep doing this. And you're watching games and you're like, I could outperform that guy. But at the same breath, like you said, these guys, they praise God and everything. Like, I was just thankful for the opportunity. I could literally walk away and say that I made the most of what I had, and I worked my tail off every single day to be a part of these teams. So I had a great run. Now I'm on to these things with the kids and high school kids and my own kids. So I'm happy where I'm at.
Just never forget, whenever we introduce you, former NFL lineman. Never, ever forget that. Coach, thanks for everything. You've been a real crown jewel. We appreciate your time. Thanks again, okay?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Thanks, Tony. Let's go play golf.
We'll come back. Ted Arnaud, can't wait to talk to Teddy, get his thoughts of the draft as we give you our draft review show, wrapping up the draft in Pittsburgh. Pretty incredible. Stay with us. Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under-eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Call 1-800-598-6439. That's 1-800-598-6439. Or visit Plexiderm.com/trial. Paid for by Sheer Science.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your morning. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 55 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A man is dead after an overnight shooting in Duquesne. Allegheny County police say the man was found dead with a gunshot wound to the head at a home in the 100 block of South 6th Street. A woman was detained at the scene. No word on if she's facing charges. Police have filed charges against a Monaca man in the deadly hit-and-run incident that killed a 9-year-old boy in Beaver County. 53-year-old Thomas Earl Cole is charged with homicide by vehicle while driving under the influence, as well as other charges. Police say Cole struck the 9-year-old boy in the 300 block of Pennsylvania Avenue in Rochester on Friday evening. He has a preliminary hearing scheduled for May 7th. The 9-year-old boy who died has not been publicly identified. Shots rang out at last night's annual White House Correspondents' Dinner, where President Trump says he was the target of an attempted assassination. Following a brief exchange of gunfire, Secret Service agents quickly tackled the alleged shooter, 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen of Torrance, California. The suspect is in custody. A senior U.S. official says authorities found anti-Trump and anti-Christian rhetoric on the suspect's social media accounts. KDK Radio News Time, it's 12:31. Next updates at 1. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with Zero Res this week. Get one room of carpet cleaned, get another room cleaned for free. Unlimited rooms and whole system duct cleaning, now just $5.99. But hurry, visit ZeroResPGH.com.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell
definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
If you or someone you know suffered any injuries involving a deployed airbag, you could be entitled to compensation. Morgan & Morgan has already recovered millions. Get America's largest injury law firm fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
The birds are singing, the flowers are in bloom, the sun is shining. What more can we ask for? Maybe to feel great and be the best version of ourselves. This is Dr. Shufo from the Weight Loss and Wellness Center. Isn't it time to take care of ourselves now? We put it off during the cold, dark, dreary days of winter. But it's time now. Get rid of that extra weight, which affects our movement, our physical health, and yes, affects our mental and emotional health. Have more self-confidence and self-esteem. Be happy, be healthy, be alive. Call me at 1-800-900-THIN.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Sunshine will make a return appearance this afternoon with a high of 65. Clear with a low of 44 tonight, then sun and some afternoon clouds tomorrow, high of warmer 74. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Well, we have come to the final two segments of what has been a very busy weekend for all of us, and the draft has concluded. And again, thanks to the mayor, the council, everybody involved, the city workers, the Pittsburgh police, a job well done. So here he is, Ted Arnaud. Ted, let's talk business matrix. Your thoughts about Mr. O'Connor and our city, and boy, 800,000, even if they did add a few or subtract a few, there were a lot of people in Pittsburgh, was there not?
There are a lot of people enjoying themselves. The city's showing great. Corey got on TV a couple of times.
Oh, my goodness.
That was awesome.
I think he was on TV more in 2 days than I've been in my entire career. Every time I looked up, he was there.
He was there, and he should have been.
Yep.
Just a great, great event for Pittsburgh. Breaking the record, show you that. You know, maybe we're not the biggest town in the NFL, but we've sure shown like the biggest town in the NFL. So it was a great, great week.
All right, guys, 800,000. I mean, they were begging yesterday for people, come on down, we need to set the record. There were 11 people down there, and then we're going to say that we had 175 or 180,000. Come on, fellas. Hey, it was a great event, but these numbers are as bogus as anything that you are ever going to read about.
But think about this. Even if you get 500,000 in Pittsburgh, basically people were there to hear the commissioner say, with the second pick, with the third pick, whatever the NFL is doing, Teddy, the secret sauce is working.
It's working well. And Craig, you're saying that as though all of the other records that were set weren't bogus.
I know. You're absolutely right. But when you got guys, people, figuring, hey, this is going to be my retirement fund because I own a parking lot that I got, 100 spaces in, and I'm going to sell them for $250 a pop, and then your parking lot goes completely empty. somebody's making up some stories because you don't get that many people down there without anybody paying to park.
All right.
And there were parking lots that were completely empty.
Fair enough. Okay, let's talk about why we were there.
Rob doesn't like me being
No. It's okay. I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. But there were not as many people as I thought, but there were still a lot of people. But let's talk about the draft. How do you rate what the Steelers did, Teddy?
Well, we've talked about it. We said they need a guard, they need a tackle. Guess what? They got a guard, they got a tackle. We said they needed a wide receiver, they got a wide receiver, and they got a quarterback from one of Greg's favorite colleges.
Yeah,
come
I'm so
on.
happy.
Teddy, you know what I said moments ago, and I believe this is, listen, I've been around corporate America enough, and I saw how you used to push my buttons back in the day. I think that they brought him in to push Will Howard. And if he works out, good. I don't think this is about the future as him being the franchise at this point. They just want someone who's got the physical characteristics of a Will Howard, and they're going to push Will Howard using Drew Aller.
I don't disagree, but I'm going to tell you guys one of my favorite picks was Caden Wetchen. I mean, come on, this guy's going to be awesome. Just watch the film on his run backs. I just think he's going to be an exciting addition to the team.
You knew Teddy's favorite pick was going to be a special teams guy. Come on now.
Of course.
Hey, Ted, one of the things I found interesting about the draft is the entire first 3 rounds, there was not one Football Bowl subdivision player drafted. So they were all Power 4 schools, or at least schools that were the old, what we used to know as Division I. There weren't any small college kids drafted at all in the first 3 rounds. And I got to believe that's one of the very few times that that's been the case.
Greg, come on. You're the guy. They all got recruited to the bigger schools when they were at the smaller schools.
Son of a gun.
Nobody left at the smaller schools after 2 years.
And that would be a good research project to see how many kids were from smaller schools who had then transferred up.
Whenever they would list the statistics, they would say, okay, he had so many receptions at this school, then at this school, then at this school. I mean, you needed a matrix to figure out where the hell they got their receptions from.
Yeah, that's a great point. And now when you watch football, it's they always say this kid transferred from, and a lot of times it is from one of the what we used to know as Division II or Division III schools to a major school, and one of our Milk and Honey guys, Isaiah Surratt, transferred from St. Francis to Indiana and ended up getting drafted in the 4th round by the Ravens.
And even the smaller Division I schools, they're getting pirated. So, I mean, you can't look at it and just say, oh my gosh, these are all just big they are all from big colleges, but that's not from whence they started.
Yeah, I was surprised, Ted. And this is not a knock on Michigan at all, but it is just an observation that when you had so many kids from Ohio State, so many kids from Indiana, so many kids from Alabama, it didn't seem like there were a whole lot of draft picks from Michigan, and that's very rarely the case.
Yeah, but you know what? They had a whole bunch from Michigan the year before. So I got a feeling that it kind of goes in cycles, and Michigan had its heyday as far as draft picks prior 2 years, and Ohio State just clean clock. I mean, come on, they had 3 of the top 10 from one school. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and Notre Dame had 2 guys out of their backfield, one of whom never started a game, was drafted in the 1st round.
How do you figure?
Yeah. What about
these agents? I'll tell you.
Did you
a good agent?
Did you have a lot of time to observe, other teams around the NFL, Ted? As far as did anyone else's draft stand out to you?
I got to tell you, the Browns.
Yeah.
The Browns. I would have to say, if I had to pick, obviously Las Vegas did pretty well because they had the number 1 pick, and I think that's going to be great. But the Browns just seem to fill everything with so many picks and so many good picks. They're going to be scary, but they still don't have any kind of solution to their quarterback. So who knows what's going to happen?
One thing that I noticed in watching the coverage of the draft, it used to be that almost every one of the 1st round picks was in the town where the draft is, and they would, come out on stage and get the big hug from Roger Goodell. But in this instance, there were only 17 players who accepted the NFL's invitation to come to the draft, and there were only 11 of the kids that were drafted in the first round that were physically present for the draft. Here, I wonder if that's going to be a trend, because if it is, I think it takes a little bit away from the draft. And honestly, I thought that Fernando Mendoza not coming to the draft took away from it a little bit. I thought it detracted from what would have been a more celebratory draft, and then the Steelers selecting a player who wasn't here.
Well, I got to tell you about Mendoza, though. I don't know that he's going to become the greatest quarterback, but I think he's going to become one of the greatest leaders.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why, if not the only reason why, his mom couldn't travel.
Right.
And so he wanted to be with his mom, who's going through some medical issues.
MS.
So my hats are off to him for doing that.
So let me bring this up because it was brought up by one of the pundits on the NFL Network, and I thought it was a good analogy, and they were kind of saying no, but nodding their heads up and down as in yes. So you get 9 offensive linemen taken in the first round, the most, I believe, since I said earlier, 10 in 68. Could be wrong, but there's a lot of offensive linemen that went. My question to you is, are we seeing a trend that maybe the draft is looking at it differently now as far as what's the most important aspect as far as a football team, and maybe the O-lineman just as important as the edge rushers have been, the wide receivers have been, and the quarterback always is, but maybe we're starting to see a trend to where the draft won't be as typical as the draft usually is. Teddy, and was this draft maybe an example of future things to come?
I think so, because you look at the number of quarterbacks because of failure to protect them adequately. And I think they're starting to figure out, hey, we can put all this money we want in a quarterback, but if they're going to get injured halfway through the season, it hasn't done much. So they've gotten the road graders, and they've taken their place in the sun, and I think it's rightfully so. I mean, the offensive line is key.
It's interesting how these things go, so now in the agent community, all of us agents are going to run out there and grab as many offensive linemen as we can for next year, because we're figuring that's going to be the spot. But sometimes it just depends upon, that happens to be the position of most need for this year, and it also happens to be that there were very good offensive linemen available in this draft, and that position next year might be wide receiver, or it might be cornerback, or it could be quarterback, because we've had years when there were 5 or 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. This year we only had 2 drafted in the first round, and I was surprised that the Alabama kid went as high as he did to the 49ers. I'm kind of glad that he did, because I didn't want him to be around when the Steelers were picking, because I was afraid the Steelers were going to do it.
You talking about Ty Simpson?
Yes.
He went to the Rams.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. All right, short break. We'll come back. We're going to get some more thoughts about the draft with Ted and Greg. This is the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
When the weather turns bad, turn to us for the best news, weather, and traffic information from the KDKA Radio Storm Center. Presented by Duquesne Light Company. Larger than light. And brought to you by Butler Transit Authority. Online and on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Here we go again. Talk of a heavily taxpayer-funded hotel at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. But as researchers at the Allegheny Institute for Public Policy keep reminding, it's not enough to say, build it and they will come. Taxpayers are, and should be, skeptical of the promised payoffs by politicians using public money on their favorite schemes. If demand truly exists for such a hotel, there's profit to be turned by private investors. Learn more at AlleghenyInstitute.org. That's AlleghenyInstitute.org.
Shopping for replacement windows? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest lasting windows you can buy.
And we have a great selection of colors and finishes. Experience Metropolitan Window Company. Stop by our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at
412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, so Teddy, what did you think as we're back on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show? I think we've done enough Steelers stuff. Let's talk about these teams that had really good drafts. You mentioned the Browns, which I agree. Jerry Jones did okay, too, as did the Jets. Jets may have had the best, but there were many teams, including the Giants, that had multiple picks. So let's take a look at some of those other teams, especially the ones that I just mentioned. And look, it would be nice to see the Jets become somewhat relevant again. Go ahead, Teddy.
It would. They played some of the statistics that how long it's been since they've won a division, how long it's been since almost anything has happened with the Jets. But they picked up a lot for their roster, and it's going to be interesting to see what they can do with it. I think Buffalo had a fairly decent draft, so that whole division's going to be interesting. I think Jerry Jones did do a good job. I think that Dallas could be strong on the NFC East this year. So it's going to be fun to see how these guys do. But like we've said so many times, you don't know for 3 years how well a draft really has done.
Ted, I was really surprised to see the Cowboys do the trade with the Eagles right in front of the Steelers when, usually those teams don't like to do things within their division as far as trades. And so it's kind of strange because now you got Mekhi Lemon, who's going to be playing against the Cowboys twice a year in a situation where the Cowboys actually gave an assist to get him in there.
I agree. But this draft had a lot of strange things. Seems like all of those rules seem to be falling apart. You know what? Another very interesting statistic was the recent quarterback number one picks and how long it took them to start. Almost 9 in a row started the first game. After the draft, I just found that to be. I didn't really think about it, but I think that's pretty amazing. So I do not think that Las Vegas will start. I just don't think they'll start it.
I'll tell you one quarterback who's going to probably start as a rookie, Carson Beck in Arizona.
Ooh,
I think
I agree with you on that, Robbie. I agree.
Did Nussmeier go to Kansas City?
Yes.
So tell me why you would sign Justin Fields. And I know you got Mahomes with a knee injury and you're anticipating, but why would you bring him in?
Well, it was very late.
Okay.
I mean, it was his 7th round. It's one of those things, remember the Steelers' old saying was you're going to draft a quarterback every year. So you just bring him in, see what develops.
Speaking of Arizona, I mean, I'm Jeremiah Love. I'm happy I go early, first round, I'm going to get a nice paycheck. But, man, Arizona, by the time they start winning, his career may be over as running backs go.
How weird was it to have James Conner in Pittsburgh?
Oh, I never even thought of that.
And they just picked the guy that's replacing him.
I never even thought of that.
I felt for his first, as soon as I saw that pick, I'm like, ooh, that had to hurt.
Man, I never even thought of that, Greg. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
That is sad. Anyway, Teddy, when you look at this NFL, and we were talking about this earlier with Coach Barkley, only the chosen few. We want to embrace it and just wrap our hands around it and get so excited. But a lot of times it's the undrafted free agent. It's the 6th round. It's the 5th round pick. A lot of these first-round players, just because they get picked in the first round, there's a lot of pressure. As soon as they step off the podium, they feel the heat, do they not?
Well, it's a whole different world. A lot of them have had big game experience, but big game experience, even amongst the big colleges, is different than the NFL. And a lot of times they either aren't prepared for it mentally or they aren't prepared for it physically.
The other thing that's interesting, Ted, the Steelers had 12 draft picks coming into the draft. They ended up trading 2 of them away. They ended up selecting 10 players. They really don't have 10 roster spots available. So, some of those guys that got selected are not going to make this team. Many of them may not even make it onto the team's practice squad. So there's a lot of work to still be done. As a player, you're drafted outside of the first 4 rounds. You still have a lot of work to be done in order to make a roster. There's nothing guaranteed about your salaries when you're a draft pick. You'll get your signing bonus, yes, but your salaries are not guaranteed. And even if you make it in the first year, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get it in years 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, that's why you look at, we took Caden Wagen in the 4th round. I think anything above that's got a shot at some kind of a position, even if it's on the practice squad, unless there's something very strange that happens. The 5th, 6th, 7th round picks, they got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, and that's not like you said. I mean, there could be some undrafted, and if they bring in an undrafted guy who makes a roster, now all of a sudden that decreases your chances as a late round pick. Because again, you look at their roster. Left guard was probably the only position. If Broderick Jones is healthy, left guard is probably the only position that somebody's going to walk in. All of the other spots already have starters lined up for it. So you're really fighting for depth chart positions.
All right, listen, one other note. You would think with name, image, and likeness, gentlemen, it would hurt like the first, 2nd round. I heard a statistic, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but they laid them out in broad daylight. Name, image, and likeness is hurting from the 4th round on down, big time.
Oh, yes, because you have a lot of players who are now staying in college, guys who would have declared and made themselves eligible for the draft. Now they're making too much money in their colleges, but that's going to even out. It just gets to the next year or so. So after this NIL and rev share program gets developed and inculcated into the whole system all the way through, now we'll start to see those guys, because now those guys will graduate out who were staying behind.
Teddy, closing comments, all yours. Go ahead.
Well, a lot of those guys, just to stay with the topic we're talking about, are going to take a pay cut.
Yeah,
Even if they make the team, it's going to be a pay cut. So they have to really think about it. But that's the system, and I think the Steelers did great. So we'll see how they all fit in. But I agree with Greg, mostly backup positions.
All right, Teddy, thank you, sir. We'll talk to you next week, okay?
You got it, guys.
All right, let's talk Pirates. We got to finish. We got 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Man, I'm loving it. Milwaukee today, coming home, 1-800-5-BUCKS. This may be the year that we're in August and September really grasping onto something.
Yeah, I sure hope so. Things that are changing, things that, the former trends that used to be existent, and they're bucking those trends. They're winning games in Milwaukee now that usually in past years they always found ways to lose those games in Milwaukee, especially a game like last night where you had a 2-run lead, you lost it, had a 1-run lead, you lost it, and then you come back and you score 3 runs in the top of the 10th when you get a clutch base hit with 2 outs. So really that was a game that could be one of those ones that you point to later and say that was a turning point in the season because of what they were able to accomplish, and they're starting to get a little bit more of Connor Griffin being what we anticipated him to be, and nobody's complaining anymore about Cruz in center field, are they?
I don't even think I could grow a mustache at 20. I mean, he's a man-child.
He's probably brushing that in. He's darkening it a little bit.
I don't know. It's just fun. And I think Don Kelly.
I'll tell you who's got a lousy mustache is Chandler. Bubba Chandler's got
Come
one
on,
of
Bubba.
those. Let that thing grow in
You know
a
what
little
that
bit.
is? That's your school picture in 9th grade.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
when you're making that transition, puberty. All right, listen. Hey, beat 'em Bucks, Milwaukee later today. I'll be back tomorrow night. He'll be back next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hope you enjoyed the draft as much as we did. That's it for the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Rob Taylor next with the news at 1. All sorts of great stuff throughout the day, so stay with us on KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Starting a home improvement project? Before you build a deck, plant a tree, or put up a fence, remember to call 811. Professionals from Underground Utilities like Peoples will mark your lines with flags so you can dig safely. Whether you're doing the work yourself or hiring a professional, calling 811 before you dig is free for homeowners. And it's the law. Call 811 3 days before you dig to keep you and your family safe. Peoples, an essential utilities company.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA, covered by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company.
14 years in prison for killing a young woman. A 15-year sentence for a crash that caused 3 deaths. 12 and a half years for killing a child and critically injuring her mother. All true stories, all caused by marijuana-impaired drivers. No matter what you tell yourself, if you feel different, you drive different. So, if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When you need to talk, we're here for you. Always have been. News Radio KDKA. Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 58 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 1 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A man is dead after an overnight shooting in Duquesne. Allegheny County Police say the man was found dead at a home in a 100 block of South 6th Street. This happened just after 1 o'clock this morning. He was found with a gunshot wound to the head. A woman was detained at the scene. No word on if she's facing charges. Police have filed charges against a Monaca man in the deadly hit-and-run incident that killed a 9-year-old boy in Beaver County. 53-year-old Thomas Earl Cole is charged with homicide by vehicle while driving under the influence and other charges. Police say Cole struck the 9-year-old boy in the 300 block of Pennsylvania Avenue in Rochester. That was on Friday evening. He has a preliminary hearing scheduled for May 7th, and the 9-year-old boy who died has not been publicly identified. A woman is facing charges in the shooting death of a man in Lawrenceville. 21-year-old Nakia Edwards, according to police, shot a 47-year-old man in the early morning hours of April 21st near Butler Street and Stanton Avenue. That man later died. Edwards told police she saw the man running at her and she thought he had a weapon, prompting her to fire her weapon. Edwards was arrested on Friday by Pittsburgh police. She has a hearing scheduled for next month. Well, shots rang out at last night's annual White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington, where President Trump says he was the target of an attempted assassination. Following a brief exchange of gunfire, Secret Service agents quickly tackled the alleged shooter, 31-year-old Cole Allen from Torrance, California. The suspect is alive and in custody. CBS News senior White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe, who was at the dinner, spoke this morning on CBS's Face the Nation.
The president, who'd wanted to continue with the dinner,
was held backstage by Secret Service for more than an hour. When he returned to the White House, he and cabinet secretaries headed to the briefing room.
In that moment, when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
It's always shocking when something like this happens. Happened to me a little bit, and that never changes.
KDKA Sports, final game of the series between the Pirates and the Milwaukee Brewers today in Milwaukee. 2:10 first pitch. Hear it on